Section 7. Everyday Fair Housing Mistakes Arizona Agents Make. Arizona Fair Housing 101. Knowing the law is only the beginning. Sarah closed her notebook after finishing the chapter on disabilities. I think I'm finally getting comfortable with fair housing, she said. David smiled. I hope so. But let me ask you something. If fair housing complaints only happened because people intentionally discriminated, do you think we'd see hundreds of complaints filed every year? Sarah shook her head. Probably not. Exactly. David leaned back in his chair. The biggest fair housing risks today usually don't come from bad people. They come from good agents who don't realize what they're saying or doing. Sarah looked surprised. So experienced agents still make mistakes? Every single day. He smiled. Let's talk about some of the most common ones. Mistake number 1. Trying to pick the right neighborhood. Sarah laughed. I've already had buyers ask me where the good neighborhoods are. David nodded. And what did you tell them? I wasn't really sure. Good. Sarah looked confused. You weren't sure because there isn't a right answer. Every buyer has different priorities. One buyer may want to be close to hiking trails. Another wants an easy commute. Someone else may want nearby shopping. Another may want a quiet neighborhood. The moment we start deciding which neighborhood is best for someone, David explained, we've crossed into making personal judgments. Instead of recommending neighborhoods based upon your own opinions, ask questions. What features are important to you? What type of commute are you looking for? What amenities matter most? Then provide objective information and allow the buyer to decide. Remember, David said, we sell homes. We don't choose neighborhoods for people. Mistake number 2, answering questions about crime. I get this one all the time. Is this a safe neighborhood? David laughed. So does every broker. The problem is that none of us are crime experts. Real estate professionals should avoid giving personal opinions about neighborhood safety or crime rates. Instead, direct consumers to objective resources, such as local law enforcement agencies or publicly available crime reporting tools, so they can make their own informed decisions. Never guess, never exaggerate, and never assume. Mistake number 3, discussing schools. I've also been asked which schools are the best. David nodded. Another common fair housing trap. One family may believe test scores are most important. Another may value athletics. Someone else may want arts programs or language immersion. Those decisions belong to the buyer, not the agent. Instead of recommending schools, provide objective resources such as school district websites or other publicly available information, and encourage buyers to conduct their own research. Notice the pattern? David asked. Sarah smiled. Objective information. Exactly. Mistake number 4. Assuming someone's needs. David told Sarah about an agent who once refused to show a 2-story home to a buyer who used a wheelchair. The agent thought they were helping, but they had already decided what the buyer could and couldn't do. The buyer later purchased another 2-story home because an elevator was being installed during remodeling. The lesson? Never decide for your client. Present every property that meets the buyer's stated search criteria and allow the buyer to determine whether it meets their needs. Mistake number 5. Social media posts. Sarah admitted she enjoyed posting new listings online. That's great, David replied, but remember that fair housing applies there too. Social media posts, videos, AI-generated marketing, blogs, emails, text messages, and online advertisements are all forms of advertising. Every post should describe the property, not the people who should live there. If you wouldn't say it in a newspaper advertisement, David said, don't post it online. Mistake number 6, letting personal opinions enter the conversation. David explained that one of the easiest ways to create fair housing concerns is simply talking too much. Sometimes an agent casually comments, lots of young families live here. This is mostly a retirement community. You'll fit right in. Although these comments may seem harmless, they focus on the people living in a neighborhood rather than the property itself. Real estate professionals should avoid describing neighborhoods based upon the characteristics of the people who live there. Instead, describe objective facts about the property and allow buyers to determine whether the location meets their own preferences. Consistency is your best protection. Sarah noticed something. Every example we've discussed has the same solution. David smiled. It does. Treat everyone the same. Ask every client the same questions. Use the same showing procedures. Present every available property that matches the buyer's search criteria. Follow the same office policies. Document your communications. Consistency protects your clients. It also protects your license. David gathered his notes and stood. Fair housing isn't about memorizing laws. It's about building professional habits. When equal treatment becomes part of your daily routine, compliance becomes much easier. Sarah smiled. I think I'm finally starting to think like a broker. David laughed. That's exactly what this course is designed to do. Arizona Broker Tip. Whenever you're unsure how to answer a fair housing question, ask yourself one simple question. Am I providing objective information or am I giving my personal opinion? If it's your opinion, stop and redirect the conversation to objective facts or reliable public resources. That simple habit can prevent many fair housing complaints before they ever begin. Online discussion question 1. Why should real estate professionals avoid telling buyers which neighborhood is the best place to live? Answer. Every buyer has different priorities and preferences. Recommending neighborhoods based on personal opinions or assumptions can unintentionally lead to steering or fair housing concerns. Agents should provide objective information and allow buyers to make their own decisions. Question 2. How should an Arizona licensee respond when asked whether a neighborhood is safe? Rather than giving a personal opinion, the licensee should direct the consumer to objective resources, such as local law enforcement agencies or publicly available crime information, so the buyer can evaluate the area based on their own standards. Question 3. Why is consistency considered one of the best fair housing risk management practices? Answer. Using the same procedures with every client helps ensure equal treatment, reduces the likelihood of discrimination claims, and demonstrates professionalism if a transaction is ever reviewed.